Earlier this month, Zaila Avant-garde became the first Black American to win the Scripps National Spelling Bee. It's kind of discouraging that in the year 2021, that barrier still needed breaking. Her achievement is an inspiration for so many students around the country. She drew strength and courage from another trailblazer who got significantly less attention, whose story has not been told and honored the way that Zaila was. In 1936, 13-year-old Magnolia Cox from Akron, Ohio, became one of the first two Black students to compete in the National Spelling Bee. She qualified after winning the regional competition that went 60 rounds, sponsored by the Akron Beacon Journal. Black communities across the country cheered her victory. They look forward to her joining the national competition. She was celebrated at churches and clubs, talked about by celebrities and even politicians. At the RKR Palace in Cleveland, band leader Fats Waller, tap dancer Bill Robinson, whom history knows as Mr. Bojangles, brought her on stage. 3,000 Ohioans came to Akron's Union Station to send Magnolia off on her journey to Washington. She had little idea of the treatment she would endure at the tip of the Jim Crow South. She was forced to ride, but she's essentially Ohio's representative, the National Spelling Bee, a 36-year-old young black woman, black girl from Ohio. She was forced to ride in segregated train cars. She was forced to stay at a private home instead of at the Willard Hotel. 9 years later, my parents, both from, my dad came from overseas, my mom from Mansfield, Georgia, met at the Willard Hotel at the end of his service in World War II. She could not stay at the Willard Hotel because she was African American. She stayed while all the other white competitors did. At a dinner for the finalists, she and her mother were forced to enter through the kitchen door of the hotel and sit at a separate table segregated from the other finalists. How shameful that was. Despite it all, Magnolia Cox made it far in the competition. There were only 5 students left when the judges gave her a proper noun to spell. She hadn't studied it. Proper nouns were supposed to be off limits. The judges had had enough of a black girl getting that far. They wouldn't listen to the Beacon Journal reporter who covered her to report in the competition. She pointed out to the judges that the judges weren't following their own rules. She was eliminated. Of course she was. Her achievements, her story soon faded from memory until now. Zaila Avant-garde talked to the media about scrolling through pictures of National Spelling Bee contestants with her father, seeing face after face that didn't look like hers. It reminds me, yesterday I had breakfast with the Secretary of the Treasury at the Treasury Department. To get to her office, I reiterate, you walk down a long hallway. Every picture on the hallway are people that look like me that were secretaries of the Treasury. Every single Secretary of the Treasury until Janet Yellen looked like, well, older certainly than the presiding officer, but look like we do. She saw Magnolia Cox's face, and she learned her story as she was looking through these. She told reporters when she was competing, she thought of Magnolia. She thought about what she had endured 85 years earlier. Now more Americans are learning both of their stories. More kids are seeing themselves in the faces of champions. That's why black history matters, Mr. President. It matters in the classroom. It matters in movies. It matters on the Senate floor. It matters in books. It matters in TV shows. It matters in the national news. It's how we shine a light on the injustices students like Magnolia and Zaila had to overcome and work to fight them. And it's how we show kids these are dreams. These aren't dreams only for certain kids who look a certain way. These dreams, these aspirations, these achievements in 21st century America should be for everyone. I ask my colleagues to join me in honoring Akron's Magnolia Cox and, even more importantly, telling her story for future generations. Mr. President, I ask that the previous comments be placed a different place in the put a different place in the record.